In the vast, cold expanse of what humans call space, we Carthians have ruled supreme for over 12 galactic cycles. 12. Can you believe that? Our warships dominate every corner of the Andromeda cluster. Our technology makes your primitive Earth gadgets look like children's toys. Our warriors stand 3 meters tall with exoskeletons that can withstand direct plasma hits. And then we met humans. Captain Brock's sensors have detected a small vessel entering Sector 9. My second-in-command, Lorthak, approached my command chair with caution. Smart move. My mood had been particularly foul since High Command ordered us to this backwater region.
Another one?
Seriously? I groaned, my 4 eyes blinking in sequence, a gesture of annoyance my species perfected eons ago. These humans are like parasites. Squash 1, and 12 more appear. This vessel appears different, Captain. Smaller. Only 1 life form detected. Now that caught my attention. 1? What kind of idiot sends a solo pilot into contested space? A human one, sir, Lorthak replied with that dry humor I'd come to appreciate during our 3-cycle mission together. Fair point. Bring it in. Standard capture protocol. The bridge crew scurried to their stations, punching commands into our quantum interface. Our tractor beam capable of yanking a small moon from orbit locked onto the tiny human craft. Craft secured, Captain. Docking in Hangar Bay 3. Assemble a welcome party. Full armor, disruptor rifles. I want this over quickly. Lorthak hesitated. Sir, preliminary scans indicate the human is female. The bridge erupted in laughter. Even I couldn't hold back my amusement. A human female? Alone? High Command must be playing a joke. I rose from my command jaw, stretching my armored limbs. I will handle this myself. Might be entertaining at least. Captain, protocol dictates. Protocol can kiss my posterior appendage, Lorthak. We have been stuck patrolling this cosmic dust bowl for 30 rotations. I need entertainment. The walk to Hangar Bay 3 took precisely 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
I spent wondering what sort of human female would pilot a craft alone into Carthian territory. Their species was already physically inferior. The females even more so. Their military records showed females averaging lower strength capabilities, though their intelligence often matched or exceeded their male counterparts. Not that it mattered much. Brains don't stop plasma rounds. The hangar bay doors slid open with a satisfying hiss. 10 of my best warriors stood in perfect formation, weapons trained on the small craft sitting pathetically in the center of our massive hangar. The ship looked like it had been cobbled together from spare parts, hardly the sleek warships humans typically used in foolish attempts to challenge our dominance. Open it, I commanded. 2 warriors approached the craft using override codes to force the hatch. It popped with a sad little hiss, nothing like our dramatic hydraulic systems. And there she was. Human. Female. Small even by their standards. Pale skin, hair the color of a dying star, what humans call red, though it looked nothing like the glorious crimson of Carthian blood. She wore no military uniform, just simple gray clothing that hung loosely on her frame. This is what Earth sends to challenge us. I laughed, the sound echoing through the hangar. A tiny female in a junk heap. The human stepped forward, seemingly unafraid. That was unexpected. I'm not here to challenge you, she said simply. Her voice was calm, steady. I'm here to talk.
Talk.
We Carthians don't talk with inferior species. We conquer. We dominate. We rule. Secure her, I ordered, turning away dismissively. Standard interrogation protocols. I wouldn't do that if I were you, the human said. I paused, more amused than concerned. But why not, little human? Because my name is Alex Parker, and I'm not what you think I am. Alex Parker. The name meant nothing to me, just another human with delusions of importance. Take her away, I repeated. 2 warriors moved forward, their massive forms dwarfing the human female. Each stood nearly twice her height, their exoskeletons humming with power. One reached for her arm. What happened next occurred so quickly that my secondary visual cortex barely registered the sequence. The human Alex moved, not the clumsy, lumbering movement typical of their species. She moved like liquid metal, ducking under the warrior's grasp. Her hand shot out, striking a precise point on his armor where our neural interfaces connect. The warrior dropped like a stone. The second warrior reacted, swinging his armored fist in an arc that would have shattered her bones. She pivoted, somehow anticipating the attack, and used his momentum against him. He stumbled forward, off balance. And then she smiled. "I told you," she said. "I'm not what you think I am." The remaining 8 warriors raised their weapons. I should have given the order to fire. That would have been the logical response. Instead, curiosity stayed my command. "Stand down," I ordered, stepping closer to the human. "You have interesting reflexes for a species known for its clumsiness." "We are known for a lot of things," Alex replied, "most of them wrong." I circled her slowly, reassessing. She stood perfectly still, tracking me with only slight movements of her eyes. No fear. Fascinating. "Why are you here, Alex Parker?" "Truly, to deliver a message." "From your government, your military." She shook her head. "From humanity." The arrogance. As if one small female could speak for an entire species. I couldn't help but laugh again. And what message could possibly be so important that they send a lone female into the heart of Carthian territory? "Stop your expansion toward Earth, or face extinction." My laughter grew louder. Several warriors joined in, the sound reverberating through the hangar like thunder. "Extinction? You threaten us with extinction?" I could barely speak through my amusement. "Human, your entire planet's military couldn't destroy one of our battle cruisers, let alone our empire." Alex didn't smile this time. Her face remained perfectly neutral. "It's not a threat, it's a warning. One I volunteered to deliver personally." "Why you?" I asked, genuinely curious despite myself. "Why not a diplomat? A general? Someone with authority?" "Because I'm expendable," she answered simply. Now that made sense. Humans often sent their weakest on suicide missions. Strange strategy, but who could understand such an inferior species? "Take her to detention level 6, I ordered. "I want to know everything about Earth's defenses before we arrive." This time, 4 warriors approached cautiously. Alex made no move to resist as they surrounded her. "Captain," she called as they led her away. "You should know something." I humored her. "Yeah, I'm not the hammer. I'm just the messenger." Cryptic nonsense. Typical human dramatic flair. "Larthak," I said as my second-in-command joined me in the hangar. "Run full analytics on her craft. I want to know where she came from, how she found us, and what hammer she's talking about." "Yes, Captain. And the human?" I considered this. Something about her bothered me, a feeling I hadn't experienced in many cycles. Not fear. Carthians fear nothing. Something different. "I will interrogate her personally." Lortak's facial appendages twitched with surprise. "Sir, protocol." Yes, protocol. "Make a note in the log that I have gone temporarily insane if it makes you feel better." "As you wish, Captain." Lortak paused. "There's something else. High Command transmitted while you were in the hangar. The human defensive perimeter around their home system has changed." "Changed how?" "It's gone." I blinked, all 4 eyes simultaneously. "Gone?" "Their entire defense grid." "Affirmative. Long-range scans show all orbital platforms, satellite arrays, and patrol vessels have been recalled to their planet." That made no tactical sense. "None. Unless a trap," I muttered. "Sir? They want us to attack. They are baiting us." I paced the hangar floor, armor clanking with each step. But why? What could they possibly gain? Lorthak had no answer. Neither did I. "Monitor all channels. I want to know if other Carthian fleets have encountered similar messengers." "Yes, Captain." The detention level was 17 decks below the hangar, a journey that allowed me time to compose my thoughts. The human female presented a puzzle, and I have always enjoyed puzzles. It makes conquering so much more satisfying when you understand what you are breaking. The cell they placed her in was our standard containment unit, 3-meter force barriers on all sides, gravity control that could increase pressure to crush bones if necessary, and atmospheric regulators that could remove oxygen in seconds. She sat cross-legged on the floor, eyes closed, breathing steady. Meditating, praying to their primitive gods. Either way, it showed remarkable composure for a creature facing imminent pain. "Comfortable?" I asked, deactivating one wall of the force barrier to enter. Her eyes opened slowly. "I have been in worse places." "I doubt that," I replied, taking a seat on the interrogation stool specially designed to tower over prisoners. reinforcing our physical dominance. But you will be soon, unless you answer my questions truthfully. Ask away, Captain Virax. I hadn't told her my name. Interesting. How do you know who I am? Alex smiled. We know all about you. Your military record, your 16 successful conquests, your promotion after the Battle of Nexus Prime. We even know about your mate and offspring on the Carthian homeworld. A cold sensation spread through my neural pathways, what humans might call a chill. You are bluffing, I said flatly. Your firstborn is named Drakath. He's training to be a fleet commander, like his father. Your mate Shalva tends the ancestral grounds of your family line. Your secondary residence overlooks the Valley of Silent Stones. Every word was accurate. Impossible, but accurate. If you are trying to intimidate me with intelligence gathering, you have failed, I lied. We expected humans to collect such basic information. Basic? Alex uncrossed her legs and leaned forward. Would you like me to tell you about your childhood? The accident that gave you that scar beneath your lower left eye? The real reason you were assigned to this cosmic dust bowl, as you call it? My hand instinctively touched the mark beneath my eye, a reminder of youthful foolishness, hidden beneath layers of ceremonial paint. No one outside my family unit knew of its existence. Enough games. I growled. What is this hammer you mentioned? Ah, now we are getting somewhere. Alex stood, moving with that strange, fluid grace. The hammer isn't a weapon, Captain. It's a person. One person? You expect me to believe one human poses a threat to the Carthian Empire? She stepped closer, too close for comfort. My hand moved to my sidearm. Not just any human, Alex said quietly. Her name is Mackenzie Blair. The name meant nothing to me. Should I be impressed? No, you should be terrified. I laughed, but it sounded hollow even to my ears. Carthians don't feel terror. You will. Something in her tone, absolute certainty, sent another of those strange chills through my system. Explain, I demanded. 3 cycles ago, your scientist discovered something on a small moon orbiting what you call Xanthar 9. An artifact. Ancient technology. Non-Carthian origin. This time, I couldn't hide my shock. The Xanthar 9 excavation was our most classified research project. Not even Larthak knew of its existence. You have been experimenting with it, Alex continued, trying to unlock its power, testing its capabilities on captured species. How could you possibly? 2 months ago, your scientist brought in a group of human prisoners, civilians captured during your raid on our research outpost in the Proxima system. Yes. I remembered the report. Insignificant humans doing insignificant research on stellar phenomena. Easy targets for our expansion forces. One of those civilians was Dr. Mackenzie Blair, astrophysicist. Quiet, unremarkable, or so your scientists thought. I stepped away, suddenly uncomfortable with the human's proximity. What happened? I asked, despite myself. Alex's expression changed. The first real emotion she'd shown. Satisfaction. They tried to use her as a test subject for the artifact. They thought humans were compatible based on preliminary scans. They were right, but not in the way they expected. The Xanthar 9 communique. The research station going dark. The subsequent investigation that found nothing but empty corridors and equipment in disarray. No bodies, no signs of battle. Just abs. The artifact bonded with her, Alex said. Completely. Irreversibly. It changed. Changed how? My voice had dropped to a whisper without my realizing it. The same way it changed the civilization that created it. The civilization that preceded yours, preceded mine. The civilization your empire found traces of but could never understand. Ancient legends. Stories told to frighten young Carthians. The vanished ones who came before all known species. Myths. Nothing more. You are spinning tales to save yourself, I said, regaining my composure. Creative, but ultimately futile. Am I? Alex tilted her head. Check your long-range communications. See if you can contact any of your outposts in sectors 7 through 12. Something in her tone made me reach for my command interface. A quick neural link, and nothing. Silence where there should have been constant chatter from 17 outposts and 32 patrol fleets. A communication malfunction, I said, though uncertainty had crept into my voice. No, Captain. That's her. That's Mackenzie. That's the hammer falling. One human couldn't possibly. She's not just human anymore. Alex interrupted. She's become something else. Something your empire has feared since it first looked up at the stars and wondered if it was truly alone. The room suddenly felt smaller. The air thinner. Why are you telling me this? I demanded. Because you have a choice, Captain Virax. You can continue your expansion toward Earth and face what Mackenzie has become. Or you can retreat, withdraw your forces from human space. Live. You expect the mighty Carthian Empire to retreat because of your fairy tales? Alex shrugged. I don't expect anything. I'm just delivering the message. As I said, what you do with it is your choice. My neural link pulsed with an incoming communication. Lortak. Captain, we are receiving something. Define something, Lortak. A transmission. All frequencies. All channels. I have never seen anything like it. Source? Unknown. It's everywhere. I glared at the human female. She stared back, expressionless. She's coming, Alex said simply. The ship lurched suddenly, artificial gravity fluctuating. Emergency lights activated, bathing the detention level in pulsing red. Captain. Lortak's voice had risen an octave. Unknown energy signature detected. Massive power readings. It's approaching at impossible velocity. Battle stations. I ordered. All weapons systems online. Raise shields to maximum. Sir, shields are non-responsive. Weapons systems offline. Something is overriding our... The transmission cut off. The force barriers surrounding the cell flickered and died. Alex stepped forward, completely free now. She looked almost sympathetic. I tried to warn you. The deck beneath our feet vibrated. Not the familiar hum of our engines, but something else. Something wrong. What is happening? I demanded, drawing my sidearm and aiming it at her heart. The hammer is falling, Captain Vlusirak. Mackenzie is coming for her people, for all the humans you have taken, for all the worlds you have conquered. The ship lurched again, more violently this time. I staggered, struggling to maintain my balance. How is she doing this? What weapon is she using? Not a weapon. The artifact. It's part of her now, or perhaps she's part of it. The distinction doesn't really matter anymore. The overhead lights failed completely. Emergency systems kicked in, but even they flickered uncertainly. Captain? A new voice crackled over my neural link. The bridge tactical officer. Something's boarding us. Boarding? How? Where? Everywhere, sir. It's like the ship is being infested. Alex stepped closer, ignoring my weapon. Last chance, Captain. Order a full retreat from human space. Now, while you still can. My finger tightened on the trigger. One shot. That's all it would take to end this human's life. One simple shot. But what if she was telling the truth? The decision was taken from me as the ship lurched again, sending us both crashing into the wall. My neural link exploded with panicked reports from all decks. Unknown entity in engineering. Security teams not responding. Hull breach on deck 12. No, wait. There's no breach, but something's coming through. Alex regained her footing first, offering me a hand. I ignored it, struggling to my feet on my own. What happens now? I asked. That depends on you, Captain. Alex nodded toward my command interface. Give the order. Retreat. Save your crew. Save yourself. Pride warred with survival instinct. Carthians never retreat, never surrender. But Carthians also recognized superior force when confronted with it. And if I refuse? Alex's expression hardened. Then you will see exactly why they called her the Hammer. The ship shuddered again, more violently than before. The lights failed completely this time, plunging us into darkness. In the blackness, something moved. Something that shouldn't exist within the confines of physical space. And as my eyes adjusted, I saw her. Not human. Not anymore. Something transcendent, glowing with power that hurt to look at directly, floating several centimeters above the deck. Her form was vaguely humanoid, but constantly shifting, as if reality itself couldn't quite contain her. Behind her, more humans emerged from whatever dimensional tear she'd created. The missing prisoners from the research outpost, each one moved with purpose, with certainty. Alex stepped toward the glowing figure. Mackenzie. The figure Mackenzie turned toward Alex, Her face was still recognizably human, though her eyes burned with impossible light. "Alex," she said, her voice somehow both whisper and thunder. "You delivered the message?" "I did. They haven't decided yet." The glowing woman turned her attention to me. I felt the weight of her gaze like physical pressure, as if gravity itself had intensified around me. "Captain Varax," Mackenzie said, "your empire took everything from me, my colleagues, my research, my humanity." I found my voice somehow. "What? What are you?" "I am what your scientist made me," she replied. "The perfect fusion of human and artifact. The key that unlocks what came before. The hammer that breaks chains." "Impossible," I whispered. "You are looking at impossible," Alex said beside me. "The question is what you are going to do about it." The neural link in my head buzzed with panicked communications from throughout the ship. Reports of humans appearing on all decks, systems failing, warriors unconscious or changed somehow. Pride is important to Carthians. Honor, strength. But survival is everything. "All Carthian forces." I spoke into my command link. "This is Captain Varax. Disengage from human territory. Full retreat. Authorization code Xanthar Vex 9. For a moment, silence. Then acknowledgements began flooding in from the scattered remains of our once mighty fleet. Mackenzie, or whatever she had become, nodded once. The glow surrounding her dimmed slightly. "A wise decision, Captain," she said, "but not a permanent solution. Your empire will hunger for expansion again. Your leaders will forget this warning." "What happens then?" I asked. The glow intensified again, painful to behold. "Then I will remind them. All of them. Simultaneously." She turned away, gesturing to the freed humans. A tear appeared in the air itself, a wound in reality leading somewhere else. Somewhere impossible. "Remember this day, Captain Vax," Alex said as she backed toward the portal. "Tell your high command what you saw. What Mackenzie became. What humans are capable of when pushed too far." They stepped through the tier one by one, disappearing from our reality. Mackenzie was last, her glow illuminating the detention level like a small sun. "We did not want war," she said before stepping through. "Remember that." The tier sealed behind her, leaving me alone in the darkness of a crippled ship, with the certain knowledge that everything I thought I knew about the universe, about power, about dominance, about humanity had been irrevocably changed. And somewhere in the vast emptiness of space, a hammer waited to fall again. Have you ever had your entire worldview shattered in an instant? No, of course you haven't. Your species is too primitive to experience the total neural collapse that accompanies such profound realignment. Count yourselves lucky. It's been 14 rotations since what we now call the hammer incident. 14 rotations of damage control, emergency repairs, and increasingly uncomfortable conversations with high command. 14 rotations of nightmares. Yes, Carthian's dream, contrary to popular xenobiological theories featuring a glowing human female tearing reality apart with her bare hands. "Captain Vrax, the council is ready for your testimony." Vrax stood in the doorway of my private quarters, his posture rigid with formality. Gone was the easy camaraderie we'd shared before Mackenzie Blair rewrote the rules of existence. "Wonderful," I muttered, adjusting my ceremonial armor. The formal hearing attire weighed 20 kilograms and pinched uncomfortably at every joint. "I can't wait to tell our esteemed leaders that we were defeated by a single human female. They will surely promote me for such a glorious failure." "They won't execute you, sir." "Probably." "Your confidence is overwhelming, Lorthak." "I try, sir." The walk to the council chamber took precisely 12 minutes. 12 minutes of sidelong glances from passing Carthians. 12 minutes of whispers just loud enough to reach my auditory receptors. The great Captain Varax, they said, defeated by humans. Ordered a retreat. Coward. If they had seen what I saw, but they hadn't, and therein lay my problem. The Grand Council chamber of the Carthian Empire stretched a full kilometer in diameter, its vaulted ceiling disappearing into shadow hundreds of meters above. 8 council members sat on elevated platforms, their ancient faces painted with traditional markings denoting their clan lineages. Before them stood a single illuminated platform, my destination. "Captain Grekthar Vrax," intoned Supreme Counselor Jarvik, her voice amplified to fill the massive space. You stand before this council to explain the unprecedented retreat of Battle Group 79 from human territory. Explain yourself. I stepped onto the platform, feeling the subtle gravity shift as it rose to presentation height. Esteemed counselors, I began, my voice steady despite the churning in my digestive tract. 14 rotations ago, my vessel was approached by a human craft containing a single occupant. This human delivered a warning that I initially dismissed as the desperate bluff of a doomed species. As any sensible commander would, interrupted Counselor Dresk, the youngest and most aggressive of the 8. Humans are barely Category 3 sentients. Their threats merit laughter, not retreat. With respect, Counselor, I continued, what followed was no laughing matter. For the next 30 minutes, I detailed the encounter. The human messenger, Alex Parker. The claims about Mackenzie Blair. The artifact from Xanthar 9. The power she wielded that defied our understanding of physics. When I finished, silence hung heavy in the chamber. You expect us to believe, Counselor Dresk finally said, that a single human female gained godlike powers from an ancient artifact, infiltrated our most advanced warship, and forced the mighty Captain Varix to order a full retreat. Put like that, it did sound absurd. I have submitted complete sensor logs and neural recordings from myself and 27 crew members, I replied. The evidence is undeniable. Evidence can be falsified, Dresk snapped, particularly by a captain desperate to cover his cowardice. My blood boiled. 28 battle citations, 16 successful conquests, never a retreat, until now. Perhaps, said Supreme Counselor Jarvik, we should consult the Xanthar 9 research team. If this human truly bonded with the artifact as claimed, impossible, interrupted another counselor Marek. The research station has been silent for nearly a full cycle. I felt a chill. Silent. For how long precisely? Marek consulted his data interface. Communications ceased approximately 42 rotations ago. An investigation team was dispatched but found the station abandoned. No sign of struggle, simply empty. 42 rotations. Exactly when Mackenzie Blair would have been brought to the facility as a test subject. Counselors, I said carefully, this confirms my report. The human Blair was taken to Xanthar 9. Whatever happened there transformed her. She has since been freeing captured humans throughout our territory. Preposterous, Dresk scoffed. One human couldn't possibly. The chamber doors slammed open with a thunderous boom. A messenger rushed in, a serious breach of council protocol that could result in immediate execution. The young Carthian's face paint was smudged, his breathing erratic. Forgive the intrusion, honored counselors, he gasped. Emergency transmission from the Proxima Defense Fleet. They are under attack. Counselor Dresk rose to his feet. The humans? They dare assault our territory after Captain Varax's shameful retreat. The messenger shook his head. Not an assault, Counselor. The report describes a single entity. Female. Glowing. The chamber erupted in chaos. Counselors shouting questions, aides rushing to terminals, guards looking nervously at entry points as if expecting immediate attack. Only Supreme Counselor Jarvik remained calm, her ancient eyes fixed on me. It would seem, Captain Varax, she said, her voice cutting through the pandemonium, that your report deserves further consideration. A massive holographic display activated above the council floor. The familiar starscape of the Proxima sector appeared, dominated by the imposing silhouettes of our defense fleet, 30 warships, each capable of reducing a planet to molten slag, and among them, a single point of light, tiny compared to our massive vessels, but burning with impossible brightness. Magnify, ordered Jarvik. The image zoomed, focusing on the light. There she was, Mackenzie Blair. But different from when I'd seen her. Larger, more radiant, less human in form. The artifact's influence spreading, changing her further. What is she doing? Whispered Counselor Marek. As if in answer, the figure extended her arms. Light pulsed from her in concentric rings. Where the light touched our ships, systems failed. Weapons powered down. Shields collapsed. But she didn't destroy them. She could have that much, was clear. Instead, the light enveloped each vessel briefly before moving on. Audio, demanded Jarvik. The chamber filled with static, then a voice. Her voice, both whisper and thunder, just as before. Attention, Carthian vessels. I am Mackenzie Blair of Earth. I have disabled your weapons and propulsion systems temporarily. You will not be harmed if you remain peaceful. I am reclaiming the humans you have taken. Nothing more. The display showed smaller points of light shuttles, moving between our helpless warships, presumably extracting human prisoners. This is Admiral Thorg of the Proxima Defense Fleet, came another voice, rage barely contained. You will stand down or be destroyed, human. Laughter. Soft but penetrating. Admiral, look around you. Your fleet is powerless. Your weapons silent. Your barriers non-existent. I could tear your ships apart atom by atom if I wished. But I don't wish it. I'm only here for my people. The feed cut suddenly, replaced by static. Report, barked Jarvik. An aide approached, visibly shaken. Connection lost, Supreme Counselor. Last transmission indicates all 30 vessels in the Proxima fleet are dead in space. Life support functional, crews unharmed, but all offensive capabilities and propulsion systems non-operational. Silence fell over the chamber. 30 warships. Our most advanced technology, neutralized by a single entity. Now do you believe me? I asked quietly. Counselor Drex, face contorted with rage, pointed an accusatory finger at me. You should have destroyed this human when you had the chance, before she became this. She was already this when she came aboard my ship, I replied evenly. If I had attempted to destroy her, we wouldn't be having this conversation. None of us would. Enough, said Jarvik. Her voice, though not raised, commanded instant obedience. Captain Vox acted correctly based on the threat assessment. The question now is how we respond. We must strike back, Dresk insisted. Gather the Grand Fleet. Target their homeworld. Show these humans the true might of the Carthian Empire. Several counselors voiced agreement, thumping armored fists on the ancient stone of their platforms. And what if she stops us? I asked. The question hung in the air like a toxic cloud. What if she does to the Grand Fleet what she just did to 30 of our most advanced warships? What then? The Sundering Protocol, said Counselor Marek quietly. The chamber went silent. The Sundering Protocol. Our civilization's final solution. A network of quantum devices planted within stars throughout our territory. When activated, they would trigger cascading nova events, sterilizing entire systems, including our own. We are not at that point, Cervix said firmly. Not yet. Then what do you suggest, Supreme Counselor asked Drask, his tone bordering on insubordination. Cervix's ancient eyes found mine again. Captain Vrex, you have encountered this entity. Spoken with her companion. What do they want? They want us to leave human space, I answered honestly, to end our expansion in their direction, to return their captured people. Appeasement? Dresk spat. We are Carthians. We do not yield to lesser beings. Is she lesser? I asked. The question surprised even me. Whatever she's become, I'm not convinced our traditional categories apply anymore. Before Dresk could respond, the holographic display flickered. The image of the disabled Proxima fleet vanished, replaced by Mackenzie Blair filled the display, her form shimmering with energy that hurt to look at directly. Somehow, impossibly, she had hijacked our most secure communications system. Greetings, Carthian High Council, she said. That voice again soft yet overwhelming. I apologize for the intrusion, but it seemed time we spoke directly. Counselor Dresk rose, fury evident in every line of his body. How dare you invade our sacred chamber? This outrage will be answered with the full might of— Please be quiet, Counselor Dresk. Mackenzie interrupted, her tone almost gentle. Your threats are meaningless now. To everyone's shock, Dresk fell silent. Not by choice his mouth moved, but no sound emerged. His eyes widened in panic. I have temporarily adjusted the acoustic properties of the air around you, Mackenzie explained. Don't worry, you will be able to speak again shortly. I just need a moment of your collective attention. Supreme Counselor Jarvik rose slowly, her ancient dignity undiminished by the unprecedented situation. We are listening, Mackenzie Blair of Earth. The glowing figure nodded respectfully. Thank you, Supreme Counselor. I will be brief. The Carthian Empire has taken much from humanity, our people, our resources, our worlds. I am here to tell you this ends today. You threaten us? Asked Counselor Marek. No, I'm setting boundaries. Mackenzie's form shifted, growing more abstract, less human. I have freed the human prisoners from your research stations and labor camps. I have disabled your military presence in what you call the Proxima sector. I have demonstrated what I am capable of doing. And what exactly are you? Jarvik asked. For the first time, uncertainty crossed the glowing being's face.
I'm still discovering that myself.
The artifact your scientist found was left by those who came before the civilization you call the Vanished Ones. It was designed to elevate a compatible species to serve as caretakers, I suppose, guardians of what they left behind. And it chose you? I asked, finding my voice. A random human scientist. Mackenzie's gaze found mine. Recognition flickered in those luminous eyes. Captain Verax, you made the right choice on your ship. Thank you for that. She addressed the broader council again. It didn't choose me specifically. It was compatible with human neurophysiology. I was simply the first human your scientist tried to bond it with. What do you want from us? Jarvik asked directly. 3 things. First, withdraw all Carthian forces from human space immediately. Second, return any remaining human prisoners. Third, sign a non-aggression pact with Earth and its colonies. Resk, apparently able to speak again, laughed harshly. Or what? You will destroy us. Prove yourself no better than those you condemn? No, Counselor. I won't destroy anything. Mackenzie's form shifted again, growing brighter. But I will protect my people by any means necessary. The Carthian Empire does not bow to threats, Dresk insisted. This isn't a threat. It's a forecast. Mackenzie's voice remained calm, almost sad. I have accessed your historical archives. I know about the Sundering Protocol. I know you are considering it now. Shocked murmurs spread through the chamber. Our most classified contingency known to her. It won't work, she continued. The quantum devices in your stars, I can deactivate them faster than you can trigger them. I already have, in fact. Counselor Marek frantically consulted his datapad. His 4 eyes widened in disbelief. The Sundering network, it's offline. All of it. I didn't destroy it, Mackenzie clarified. I simply adjusted it. The technology is remarkable. Like everything the Vanished Ones created, it can be repurposed. For what? Jarvik asked, a tremor in her ancient voice. For creation rather than destruction. For a moment, Mackenzie's form became almost fully human again, her expression earnest. That's what they wanted, you know. The ones who came before. They didn't vanish. They evolved. Beyond bodies. Beyond the constraints of physical space. The artifact, what I have become, it's a bridge. A connection to what they left behind. I found myself stepping forward, drawn despite myself. What did they leave behind? Knowledge. Technology. Power beyond anything your empire or my species has dreamed of. A Mackenzie smiled, a strangely human gesture from something increasingly less so, but it was never meant to be a weapon. That's what neither of our species understood. It's a gift, a responsibility. And you alone decide how to use this power? Dresk demanded. For now, she acknowledged, until others join me. Others? I asked, the chill running through me. You mean, more humans will become like you? In time, those who are ready, those who choose it. The implications staggered me, not one Mackenzie Blair. Many, an entire species, ascending to whatever she was becoming. Supreme Counselor Jarvik raised her hand, commanding silence. Mackenzie Blair of Earth. The Council must deliberate on your proposal. Of course, Supreme Counselor. You have 1 rotation. The image began to fade. I will return for your answer. And if we refuse? Dresk called out. Mackenzie's form had almost disappeared, but her voice remained. Then I will be very disappointed. And trust me, Counselor Dresk, you don't want to see what happens when the hammer falls in earnest. The holographic display winked out, leaving the chamber in stunned silence. For several moments, no one spoke. What could be said? Our empire, spanning 12 sectors, ruling 37 species, faced an ultimatum from a power we couldn't comprehend. Captain Verax, Jarvik finally said, you have encountered this entity directly. Your assessment. All eyes turned to me. My career, possibly my life, hung on my next words. She's not bluffing, I said simply. Whatever she's become, it's beyond our technology, beyond our understanding, and she's only beginning to explore her capabilities. You advise surrender, then? Dresk sneered. I advise survival, I replied evenly. There's no shame in recognizing superior force, only in dying foolishly because of pride. Murmurs spread through the chamber, some agreement, some outrage. What if we appeared to agree, suggested Councillor Marek, but secretly prepared countermeasures? Surely there must be some way to neutralize this threat. She accessed our most secure systems effortlessly, I pointed out. Deactivated our most classified weapons network. Do you really think she wouldn't know? We need time, said Jarvik. Time to understand what we are dealing with. Time to assess options. Then I suggest we accept her terms, I said. For now, withdraw from human space. Release their prisoners. Sign their treaty. And watch. Learn, prepare. Cowardice. Dresk slammed his fist down. The mighty Carthian Empire cowering before a single transformed human. Would you rather be mighty and dead? I asked. Or pragmatic and alive to fight another day? Dresk had no answer to that. The council debated for hours. Arguments raged. Ancient protocols were invoked. Military options examined and discarded. Religious interpretations offered. Historical precedents cited. Through it all, one reality remained inescapable. For the first time in our 12-cycle history, the Carthian Empire faced a power it could not overcome through conventional means. When the final vote came, it was not unanimous, but it was decisive, 7-1. Captain Vork, said Supreme Councillor Jarvik when the tally was complete, given your unique experience with this entity, you are hereby appointed special emissary to whatever Mackenzie Blair has become. You will negotiate the specific terms of our withdrawal from human space. Me, the one who retreated. Now tasked with formalizing that retreat on a galactic scale, the irony wasn't lost on me. I accept the appointment, Supreme Councillor, I said, bowing my head in the traditional gesture of obedience. Do not mistake our decision for weakness, Captain, Jarvik warned. This is strategic realignment, not surrender. You will buy us time. Time to understand, time to adapt, time to find a countermeasure. I understand, Supreme Councillor. Do you? Her ancient eyes bored into mine. Because if you sympathize with these humans, if you have been somehow compromised by your encounter, you doom our empire. My loyalty is to our people, I assured her. Always. But as I left the chamber, a thought lingered uncomfortably in my neural pathways. What if our empire deserved its doom? What if our conquests, our subjugation of lesser species, had finally awakened something that would end our dominance permanently? What if the hammer had been waiting to fall all along? Lorak met me outside, his expression unreadable. Special emissary? Congratulations, sir. I think, indeed. I sighed heavily. Prepare a communication channel. Secure but not encrypted. Sir, encryption is pointless against what she's become. Better to show goodwill through transparency. As you wish, Captain. To whom are we transmitting? To Earth, to Mackenzie Blair. I started walking toward the hangar where my ship waited. It's time to formalize our retreat. And after that, sir? I stopped, considering the question carefully. After that, Lortak, we prepare. For war. For change. I resumed walking, my stride purposeful. The universe just became a much larger place, with much more dangerous neighbors than we imagined. 26 hours later, I stood on the observation deck of my command ship, watching as the Proxima Defense Fleet limped toward the nearest repair station. 30 warships each, representing the pinnacle of Carthian military technology, reduced to drifting hulks by a single transformed human. Behind me, the door hissed open. I didn't turn, recognizing the distinctive footsteps of my second-in-command. They are here, Captain, Lortak reported. One small craft. 2 occupants. Just 2? I couldn't hide my surprise. I expected more fanfare for the signing of our first defeat in 12 cycles. Perhaps they don't view it as a defeat, sir. Lortak hesitated. Perhaps they view it as a correction. I turned to look at him, surprised by the philosophical tone. A correction, Lortak, of an imbalance, sir. A restoration of equilibrium. When did you become a philosopher? Lortak's facial appendages twitched in what passed for a smile among our kind. When my captain started questioning our empire's righteousness. It's contagious. I couldn't argue with that. My encounter with Mackenzie Blair had planted seeds of doubt that grew with each passing rotation. What right did we have to conquer? To subjugate? To destroy? Questions no true Carthian warrior should ask. Yet here I was, asking. "Let's greet our guests," I said, straightening my ceremonial armor. "History awaits." The diplomatic chamber had been prepared according to both Carthian and human protocols, an unprecedented accommodation. The traditional stone table occupied the center, but human-sized chairs had been provided alongside our standing platforms. Temperature and atmospheric conditions adjusted to human comfort ranges. They entered without announcement, another break from protocol. Alex Parker, the messenger, walked with the same fluid grace I remembered. Behind her came Mackenzie Blair. In person, not as a holographic projection, her transformation was even more evident. She appeared superficially human, 2 arms, 2 legs, a recognizable face, but reality seemed to bend subtly around her. Light behaved differently in her presence. Gravity felt optional, yet she had clearly made an effort to appear less intimidating for this meeting. The blinding radiance I'd witnessed on my ship and in the council chamber was muted, contained within her form rather than exploding outward. She wore simple human clothing, practical pants, and a jacket in Earth military colors. "Captain Virax," Alex greeted me with a slight nod. "Or should I say special emissary?" "Captain is fine," I replied. "Titles mean little at this point." "On the contrary," said Mackenzie, her voice surprisingly normal now, almost entirely human. "Titles and formalities matter greatly at moments like this. They provide structure to unprecedented events." She approached the stone table, examining the ancient carvings along its edge. "This is beautiful craftsmanship. Carthian traditional artisans carved this 500 years ago during your 3rd dynasty, before the military caste took control." I blinked in surprise. "How could you possibly know that?" Mackenzie smiled, a gentle expression that belied the power she commanded. "The artifact. It gives me access to knowledge, history, cultural records, things your own scholars have forgotten." "Unsettling," I admitted. "For both of us," she agreed. "Shall we proceed?" For the next 3 hours we negotiated the specifics of the Carthian withdrawal from human space. Boundaries were established, timetables set, verification protocols created. Throughout it all, Mackenzie remained calm, reasonable, but utterly immovable on core issues. The Carthian Empire would retreat. Completely, permanently. "There's one final matter," I said as we approached the end. "The Council wishes to understand more about what you have become. For scientific purposes." "For military purposes, you mean," Alex interjected. "To find a weakness." I didn't deny it. Lying would be pointless. Mackenzie considered this, her form briefly flickering with that internal light. "I understand the request. In your position, I'd want the same information." "An end," I pressed. "I will provide limited data. Enough for your scientists to understand that what's happened to me isn't reversible, replicable, or defeatable with current Carthian technology." She leaned forward, her eyes briefly flashing with power. "But also enough to show that I mean what I say. I don't want war, Captain Vrook. I never did." "Then what do you want?" I asked, the question that had haunted me since our first encounter. "Peace, growth, understanding." Mackenzie's expression turned distant. "The vanished ones, they didn't disappear because of war or catastrophe. They evolved beyond the need for physical forms, beyond the constraints of space-time as we understand it. And that's what you are becoming. In my own way. A human way." She focused on me again. "The artifact bonded with me because human neurophysiology is compatible with their technology. But it's changing me according to human potential, not recreating them. And others will follow," I said, remembering her words to the Council. "Those who choose to, yes. Those who are ready." The implications staggered me anew. An entire species ascending to something beyond our comprehension, while we Carthians remained, what, obsolete, primitive by comparison. "Your fear is misplaced, Captain," Mackenzie said gently, somehow reading my thoughts. "Evolution isn't a competition, it's a response to environment. Your species will find its own path. If you allow us to," I couldn't help but add. "The universe is vast, Captain Vrax. Room enough for all paths, all forms of life." She stood, signaling the end of our discussion. "The treaty is agreed. I trust you will transmit it to your council for formal ratification." I rose as well, feeling strangely diminished beside her despite my greater physical size. It will be done within the rotation. Good. She extended her hand, a human gesture I recognized from briefings. A handshake. Agreement. Until next time, Cap. I hesitated only briefly before clasping her hand. It felt human enough, warm, solid, but power thrummed beneath the surface like a contained star. Will there be a next time? I asked. Mackenzie smiled again, that same gentle expression that somehow conveyed both compassion and absolute certainty. Of course, this isn't an ending, Captain Vors, it's a beginning. For both our species. She and Alex departed as they had arrived, without ceremony, without fanfare. Just two figures walking out of the diplomatic chamber, one of them carrying the power to reshape reality itself. Lortak moved to stand beside me, watching them go. Do you believe her, sir? He asked quietly, that this is a beginning, not an end? I considered the question carefully, thinking of the Carthian Empire's 12 cycles of expansion, of conquest and subjugation, of unquestioned dominance. And I thought of a single human female, transformed by ancient technology into something beyond our comprehension. The hammer that fell when we least expected it. Yes, I finally answered. I believe her, but whether it's a beginning we are ready for, that remains to be seen. Somewhere in the vastness of space, the hammer waited not to strike again but to build something new, something neither humans nor Carthians could imagine alone. And despite everything, I found myself looking forward to seeing what it might be.